gotta build the situation.
What's up, guys? I just wanted to.
You can't walk like that. My bad. What's up, guys? My name is Tommy. This is Mr. Steele, and back by popular demand is the next installment in the mini trick series. You guys are gonna learn how to do some crazy stuff, man.
I don't even know what we're teaching today. Do you have any idea? I think this homeless person behind us wants to teach some stuff.
Oh, what? Who's this dude?
We are going to do a trick class.
Trick series.
Trick series. We have Ben. I don't know if you
Stand over there
remember
awkwardly. Get away.
He's just not allowed to be near us.
I don't want to.
Maybe you guys remember Ben from that episode. We helped him finish up his first quad.
Since you guys like the format where you had a teacher teaching a student because the student is going to ask questions that we probably don't think about, Ben today is our student.
We're going to try the inverted jaw spin or 360 jaw spin. And they're laughing because they think I can't say jaw. Jaw?
Ja.
You're basically flying straight forwards. You do half a loop and then you do 360 jaw spin and then you do another half a loop and you keep going forward. I mean, obviously we always have a certain degree of an angle on the camera. Are we really upside down, or when we're doing it we're a little bit angled that way?
Yeah, sometimes you might be a little angled, so it just depends on, but you're used to your camera angle. You're used to this being flat.
Yeah.
And so you just have to be considerate about that depending on how much camera tilt you've got. So when you do a backflip, before you start your yaw spin, if you're not like this and you're like this, which is very possible because you might have camera tilt, like this, and you do your yaw spin, it's gonna look like that. And what you'll do is, instead of looking around the horizon, you're gonna look at the sky and the ground, sky and the ground.
At least to me, the way I figured out some of those tricks is like trying to have your rates really similar in every axis, meaning like it takes the exact same amount of input or time to do any of the full rotations or half rotations. At least to me, that makes it a lot easier because you know how much you have to hold the stick on the side in order to do a full rotation. And the same with half rotations.
But it's all time related. I don't use vision that much.
It's almost time.
All
yeah.
time.
I mean, you can do it without
looking. So I can
looking.
like fly, close my eyes and go whoosh, whoosh, and probably.
Because then you can combine anything, because we're saying upside down 360 jaw, half a roll, but you can also do only half a roll, half a jaw, and then coming back the other direction. But I do a little bit of punch.
Okay.
Then lower the throttle. And let me see again. Punch up, half, 360, half.
Yeah, give yourself. Now, when you go up to do the yaw, are you trying to make sure your quad is flat?
Yeah,
or?
I mean, you obviously want to be as balanced as possible, and level as possible. So then you can line it up perfectly.
So you're taking into account the camera angle like you were mentioning before?
Well, actually, I probably am, but I'm not doing it consciously. I just know when I have to stop. Okay. Because every time I start flying, I always do this kind of thing where it's like boom, 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 boom,
right.
boom.
Right.
You know, until I kind of get used to it again, because every battery is almost new, right? So I just do these. You know, just even if it's half rolls, it kind of helped me sync myself again to what's the timing of half a roll. I mean, for example, let's do it without the jaw spin, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna punch up, go inverse, stay there, and then come back.
Okay.
Right? So that's the same kind of trick, but just removing the jaw spin.
Yeah.
And I think when you go up, I guess that can be a good technique to do. Just first you want to try that, right? You want to punch it up, stay there for enough, and then go back in. But then you can do it faster, you know, because obviously if you want to do it through a tree, right? So those ones were a little closer together.
Yeah.
Because if you want to do it through a tree hole, like we've done before, then you got to do it a lot faster. And like we were saying earlier, Steele and I were mentioning that you can almost do it without looking at the quad.
Without looking, right?
Okay, you know, let's try it through the tree.
All right. I think that's something that I want to work on is that feel. You know what I mean? That feel of the timings of when you get that hang time.
Oh no, I did the wrong trick. My brain didn't work. Let's try again. Oh, I like to touch the ground once in a while. You know? Yeah, but
that's part of the trick, though,
but
right?
as you can see on that one, I'm gonna land because the battery is dead. But on that one, I just you have to connect it a lot faster.
Right.
If you want to do it through a gap or whatever you want to do.
Because you only have so much hang time, obviously, coming through there.
So you almost have to, like, as you're arriving on the first.
Well, you want to make
rotation, you want to almost start rotation.
Right. And also, you're making sure that you punch, so you've got a little bit of height, but you want to cut that throttle before you actually get into the moves, right?
I cut the throttle because it's generally you're hanging at that time.
Right. You want to just carry that.
Either way, when you gave it the jaw input, it's going to spin otherwise, right? Because we're using air mode, right?
Quick tip, some of you guys have been asking, how the heck does the quad stay stabilized under 0 throttle? And that is thanks to something called air mode.
That means when you go 0 throttle, the props are still spinning and you still have a gyro control instead of the motors turning off. Before, when we would flip upside down and hold that angle for a long period of time, we'd have to not go to 0 throttle or the motors would turn off. So like the first year of me flying was flipping and then having to go to like 3% throttle so that the motors didn't turn off. And I think you're the same way, right?
Yeah, and now it's way easier because you can just hit the bottom and you're still gonna be fine.
Air mode is pretty standard now, so just make sure air mode is on your specific firmware and you'll be okay.
Yeah, just do the double, the half and half for a little bit of it. That's good. And you see what I mean?
Close to the
You're a
tree.
little too close. I'll do it. I will keep going straight here, and then turn. I will go even further back to give you more distance, so you can start going up around here. Yeah. And again, good. Just keep doing that until you feel comfortable. Because we have to mention though that this is not an easy trick at all. This is definitely an advanced trick. Good. That's good. Now let's do. There it goes. You overshoot a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's do one more. Keep a little bit more room in between the rolls so you can fit
So
the
float
adjustment.
a little bit more.
That's good. Great.
I could have.
That's too much. That's too much space, but that's great.
I feel like lining it up a little bit so you've got that space.
Yeah, you wanna line it up with those trees at the end. There he goes. Oh, you
Try
went
the other
forward. You can do that too, though.
The other way.
The only
I
thing
tried
is
it.
the jaw spin might be a little easier on backside.
That wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that's good. Like now you're getting comfortable with that half and half.
Half and half.
Half and half.
I feel like what I might do to be safe is it might be good to get a little bit more altitude just to give myself
When you yaw, it's gonna go down. So you have to be really high, and you'll see, like I can go up really high and do a yaw spin, and if you let go of the stick and let it stop a yaw spin quickly, it'll like force you towards the ground.
Okay, alright.
Unless you do it right here, where it's continually going up. But if you go up, flip upside down, and then you're coming down, and then you do a yaw spin,
You're
like
punching down.
Yeah, you're like going straight into the ground.
Nervous, but I can do this.
Nice. Well, that was something. Well, what happened is you overspin on the jaw spin.
Over yawed.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about. If you have the timing perfectly matching, then you will know that when you complete it. So you're doing it right. It's just that you are overspinning on the yaw.
Oh, I'm doing half a.
Oh, you're doing half now.
I'm doing half now. I'm having a hard time judging
how much spin you're doing.
How much spin.
One thing that I'm noticing is that let's try again.
I gotta keep going.
But you're spot on. You just go the other. You come around the other way. So what I'm thinking is maybe your jaw spin is not fast enough.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see.
Whoa.
No, because you're doing. I don't think you're rotating fast enough. Is he overshooting or he's? There he goes.
Hey.
Very nice, dude.
I was like, I'm gonna hold it a little bit longer.
Oh,
and
so
just
then,
see where we
it
end up.
wasn't doing a
It was just
540.
shy.
It was actually your jaw rate is too slow.
Too slow.
Yeah. Very nice, dude.
Yeah, look at that.
Holy. So basically, I feel like it will help a lot if your jaw is a little faster, obviously.
Yeah, we might have to up the rate.
Yeah. But you did it. I mean, you got it.
Charpu. Oh. That's the 180.
That's your trick. That's
my
bend.
trick.
Yeah. That was
All right.
good. It's just like obviously you discover like the stuff that we were talking about earlier. You discover that your roll and your flip rates are similar, but your jaw rate is not in sync with that. Because that's probably you were doing. You were going like this. You were going the back roll fine, and then you were thinking, okay, I'm going to do the same time that I know is right. But then you were only doing that.
Right.
So now the real question is, if you pump up your jaw rate. You're gonna have to get used to that on regular flight. But I think at the end it might benefit, I feel.
I think it might be better because that makes sense to me. To have your flips and rolls and whatnot timed up similar so that, because when I was getting kind of used to the idea of like, I'd go huh, like that and I knew that was a half. Yeah. Like that quarter of a second was a half turn. And if I held it obviously for twice that, I knew that was a full
flip,
even without seeing the video, because it would end up
in the right
flat,
place.
You know what I mean?
Okay, really quick, Ben, was there anything during the instruction that helped it click for you? Like, oh, okay, I figured out why, or I figured out how to make it work.
Kind of getting used to the feel. Like I liked what you guys talked about breaking down the moves to, you know, just do a roll or just do a flip or just do a yaw. Start with that and then start adding things and getting more flight time and that sort of thing. It feels like, you know, getting that feel is what seems to be most important, because you can logically think your way through things, but like what Carlos was saying is it's almost too slow if you have to think about your moves. So you want to kind of feel your way through it a little bit more, and you know, I think that just kind of takes practice. But it's good to hear that.
I have a lot of fun because I never examined the tricks that I'm doing as much as I was doing it with you, because then I was concentrated in knowing exactly what I was doing to try to explain it to you. I have a lot of fun, and you know, I was just asking you guys if you have any other tricks that you want us to kind of like do the same that we did with Ben. Just post it on the comments and like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. When you go, no, you're just going boom, boom, and you want to go shoom.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like the other day you were telling me, like, instead of the foot one, it's like, you know what I mean, through the, and it's true because, and I knew I was like more throttle. I got it. You know what I mean? Like,
it's all like it's a similar language. The animator language and the quad language is pretty similar.
It is, and if you freak out, it's a nail it.
Yeah, you don't want that.
But it's funny that, like, in animation we just communicate that way, like, because everything is visually. It's all visual, so it's really hard to say. I mean, you can say, yeah, just go a little slower or go a little, but generally we just communicate like that. Like, it just feels a little too ting, 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 ing. I should feel ting, 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 ting. We do talk like that, it's true.